Gene, well, let's get started with the Bucks are back in the Super Bowl in Tampa this time. What's kind of the excitement level around Tampa getting ready for the Bucks in their home stadium for the Super Bowl?
Well, there can only be one first. And the Buccaneers are the first team in NFL history to play in their own stadium in a Super Bowl. So that number one off the list. Secondly, the Buccaneers have no Florida State Seminoles on the roster. And in 2002, that great team that John Gruden led to the Super Bowl 37, we had four Seminoles on the roster. All four were starters. And people ask me, what's it take to make a Super Bowl team? I say, well, you need to have Florida State Seminoles on your roster. That'll get you to the big dance. And somehow, some way, without a Florida State Seminole, without a Florida Gator, and without a Miami Hurricane, think of that. The Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl. How good is that? Well, not good if you're a Seminole fan, or not good if you're a Gator fan, not good if you're a Hurricane fan, but if you're a Bucks fan, it's mighty good.
Now, COVID's changed a lot of things this year, but the good news is you do get to be in the stadium for this Super Bowl. What's kind of your excitement level preparing for your second Super Bowl call?
Well, number one, it's always exciting to prepare for football games, be it Florida State University versus Duke, Clemson, North Carolina State, North Carolina, whoever's on the ACC, let alone Miami, Florida, and the Florida Gators. The preparation is always exciting. I will say this. As you get further into the playoffs, your phone rings a whole lot more, and radio interviews become almost every hour on the hour. But it's exciting. It's exciting for the team, exciting for the players, exciting for the coaches, exciting for the fans. And if it wasn't exciting for the play-by-play guy, he probably shouldn't be in the business.
Do you do anything different preparation wise for a game like this, or is it business as usual for you?
Business, you have a schedule and you try to stay on schedule. Florida State basketball is pretty dead gum good right now, and we're in the middle of a 4-game road swing now, beginning in Atlanta and then going to Boston, and then I think Virginia Tech, and they've added a Pittsburgh game in their 4 straight road games. So I will not do the Pitt game. I have to be in Tampa for NFL security to get the facial ID and the press credentials. You have to be there in person, so I'll miss that game. But the rest I'll do. In the pandemic that we have been battling through since March of 2020. The unique thing is that we were able to get the majority of our football games in. At the moment, the majority of the basketball games in. There have been 3 we missed. They're going to try to make up 1, 2, or maybe all 3 of those. But the NFL, for some reason, the protocols that the NFL put in place, all 256 games of the NFL schedule were played, which is, and obviously then add to that the 3 weeks of playoffs and now the Super Bowl. That's incredible. All other major professional leagues and colleges had some issues with COVID-19 and had to cancel games, postpone games. Some conferences canceled the season outright and canceled winter sports too. But the NFL somehow, some way able to play all 256 games, which is incredible when you think about it. With this disease rampant all over the country, 400,000 dead. My family's personally been touched by the illness. A sister-in-law, a daughter-in-law, both hospitalized, one in Palatka, one in Leesburg. But they fortunately are still alive. Sister-in-law is recovering. But under the protocols, no chance to visit with coaches face-to-face. I really miss that. No chance whatsoever to visit with players, in the airport, on the team plane, bump elbows or what have you. And I haven't seen a football practice since 2019. So that's an incredible long time for a guy that broadcasts the football games not to see practice. No, what I look at is videos. Florida State sends videos of practice, not necessarily everything that I need, but they do send some. And then I watch every press conference not every press conference, but the press conferences that the Buccaneer offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach Bruce Arians, and selected players. And the same thing at Florida State. Mike Norvell, he's got a press conference every week, and after practice he has a press conference. So that's how you keep. That's the new age, Lane, the new age of covering sports and broadcasting remotely. Oh my goodness. if all of a sudden ESPN decides they will want to promote a boxing match and talk 5 minutes over with a graphic with some boxers, you're not seeing what's on the field. So you're sort of you got to look at that stat broadcast thing. You're about 25 seconds behind. Oh yeah, here's a run to the right side, first down, Florida State. But that did not happen in football. It happened in a basketball game. And fortunately, the NFL provides several monitors. One called the All 22, so you can see the actual field. It's not part of the telecast, so you know where the line of scrimmage is. You know that the offense is on this side, defense is on that side, and for your analyst, he can tell whether you're in a zone or man to man. A play-by-play guy, you can tell if you got a shotgun or you got a pistol formation or what have you. But that helps in the NFL broadcast. We don't have that. We don't have that in the college broadcast. Maybe if we have to do this again, maybe we'll have that All 22.
With another Super Bowl coming up, does that conjure up memories from your last Super Bowl and what that experience was like with Bucks versus the Raiders?
Yeah, that first Super Bowl was really, really a unique experience. Tampa Bay 12-4 that year. That's still a franchise record. This year's Bucks 11-5. Should have beat Chicago and should have won another game along the way. We did not. But hey, 11-5, you get in the playoffs, number 5 seed. You sweep New Orleans, you sweep Atlanta, you sweep Carolina, 2 of your division foes. You lose 2 to New Orleans, but you get revenge in the divisional round by beating them 30-20 on their home turf in New Orleans. But yeah, the excitement builds and builds, and the Buccaneers in preparing for the game, obviously, and looking back, Tom Brady made a comment after the Bucs had defeated Green Bay in his post-game presser, and he said, remember this, we were 7-5 after a loss to Kansas City 27-24 on November the 29th. Bucs were 7-5. Now, there's no guarantee a 7-5 team is going to make the playoffs, let alone earn the number 5 seed. But after a bye week, which is the latest bye week that I think it is the latest bye week the Bucs have ever had since they put the bye in, was the first weekend in December. So something happened there. Either you got fresh legs because you got 2 days off, walkthroughs for a couple of days, get your mind off of football. The grind of the NFL is tremendous, and for the players particularly, and for the coaches, and probably for the broadcasters as well. But something clicked. And since the loss to Kansas City, the Buccaneers have won 7 consecutive games, 5 of those 7 on the road, 3 of those 7 in the playoffs against division champions, and something clicked. And until Tom put that in perspective in his post-game presser, I hadn't thought about that. But the Bucs have been on a roll, and we had stubbed our toe. We played probably all backups against Pittsburgh and got run out of Raymond James Stadium, the season finale in the Super Bowl year of 2002. But we knew we were in the playoffs. We knew we were the division champs. So why get anybody injured in the final game of the year? So that was our 4th loss, and then we were very fresh. We had a first-round bye, which is huge. Bucs didn't have that in 2020. Now we had to play 1, 2, 3. Now this will be our 4th, but we had the first-round bye, and we played San Francisco. Jeff Garcia came in and didn't know what hit him as the high-flying 49ers got just absolutely railroaded. We just sacked them about 6-7 times, scored almost on every possession, and ran them out of Tampa Bay and earned the ticket to Philadelphia. And the Philadelphia game was played in 26-degree weather. At that time, the Bucs had never won a game where the temperature was below 40 degrees at kickoff. And I'm down on the sideline watching the team practice. And COVID, you can't do that now. But I'm down on the field in the old vet stadium with that hard AstroTurf they had, or whatever the artificial stuff was called. And I'm freezing. I got gloves on, but I don't have a hat. And Ed Glazer, one of our owners, came up to me, and he's bundled up and he's got a cap on. He says, you need a hat. You need a hat. If you keep your head warm, that's 90% of staying warm. And I said, well, I don't have a hat. He walked over to one of the equipment managers, came back and gave me a Tampa Bay Buccaneer skull cap to put down over my head. And I kept that thing forever. I think it's still in my closet. But thank you, Mr. Glazer. I was then toasty and warm in 26-degree weather. And the Bucs won.
Do you have a favorite moment or memory from that Super Bowl, something that has always stuck with you?
Well, the two things, and they're part of my top 10 all-time Buccaneer favorite plays, is one, Joe Juravicius on third down. His son was in the hospital and later passed on. He had a very rare disease, and he did not fly with the team. He got in the day of the game, and on third down, the Bucs, we're trailing at the time, and Brad Johnson throws a sideline pass to Joe Juravicius. He ran it 71 yards and set up the Buccaneers' first touchdown. You go, Joe! You go, Joe! Joe, go, Joe! And Joe Juravicius, a hero. That was the only catch of the day that Joe Juravicius made, and it was a huge. And then Ronde Barber, the interception, McNabb trying to throw toward the end zone, and Ronde picks off the pass and returns at 62 yards for the decisive touchdown in the championship game. So those are two really fond memories. And then the Super Bowl, Dexter Jackson was the MVP. From Quincy, Florida State University. I met Dexter when he was being recruited by FSU. That he wanted to play quarterback. He never played quarterback, was a defensive back his entire career. And then the NFL, he played, obviously, safety. And he had 2 picks, was named the most valuable player. I thought that was a tremendous highlight for me and for Dex. In fact, the city of Quincy declared Dexter Jackson Day. They had a parade in downtown Quincy. And my wife and I went and I shot video of Big Dex waving to the fans from Quincy, Florida. And I said on the broadcast, when he was named most valuable player, I said when Dexter picked off a pass for the Buccaneers late in the first quarter, turning point in the ballgame, by the way, that the city of Quincy, Florida was jumping up and down and dancing. When he picked off the second pass, I said, they're dancing in the streets. And when I said he's named the MVP, I said the city of Quincy is going to have a big parade and celebrate Dexter Jackson. That's exactly what they did. That's a highlight. And then Derek Brooks. The icing on the cake late in the fourth quarter. The Buccaneers are really beating. Well, I say this, Dwight Smith intercepted a pass. It was late, 4:40, about 4.5 minutes left of the third quarter. And when he picked off the pass, he's returning it for his first pick six of the ball game. And I'm saying, the Bucs are going to win. The Bucs are going to win the Super Bowl, and it's only the third quarter. You're not supposed to say that, Lane. You're not supposed to say it. You know what happened next? Rich Gannon throws 3 touchdown passes, and all of a sudden they've scored 18 points. They went for 2 all 3 times. They scored touchdowns, and they failed on all 3 2-point conversions. But the Bucs are going to win it. It's only the third quarter, and all of a sudden 18 straight points, and they made it a 13-point ball game. And then Derek Brooks picked 6. That sealed the deal. And he returned it, ran right down the sideline in front of John Gruden. And that picture will always be in my mind of John Gruden just fisting, giving that fist in the air, and he knows Brooks is taking it all the way, and the game is won. So those things. And it's sort of ironic that my favorite plays in the Super Bowl all involve Florida State Seminoles.
Well, I mean, it's an easy tie-in because you've called some of the most memorable and greatest plays in Florida State history. Yeah. What does it mean to you to be able to call not only Super Bowls, but national championship wins as well?
Well, I've had the privilege of broadcasting 2 of the 3 FSU championship games, 1999. It wasn't easy, the Big Easy. It was destiny. I think that's how we finished. I had a case of laryngitis. We had a cold front come through the French Quarter the night before, and all that got in my chest. And I'll never forget doing the pregame show with Coach Bowden in his hotel room. I said, Coach, I can already talk. I'll ask a question. Could you give long answers? Because I had to get like 7 minutes, And Bobby was great. I think I asked 3 questions. We had a 7-minute pregame show. I said thanks, and about a half gallon of chloroseptic and some throat lozenges. I was able to broadcast the game that night. But that was the '99 championship, and then obviously going out to California, playing in the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, playing Auburn, and having to come from behind Kermit Whitfield will always be a hero of mine. And then obviously Rashad Green's long catch and run, it got us into the red zone. And then Jameis Winston, I think it was first to goal because they had been penalized for pass interference. And he throws that high pass, and Kelvin Benjamin goes up again. The catch is what it is. And you see the picture of the football office. Those are memories from that 2013 championship game. I'll never forget those. I am hoping, and you know what? You mentioned the COVID-19, Lane, a little earlier in this conversation, and it has changed the way, obviously, we broadcast. It has changed the way teams compete. And I really thought that 2 years ago, Leonard Hamilton's basketball team, had Trent Forrest been healthy, we would have beaten Gonzaga, and I think that was a Final Four team. And then last year's team, we didn't get a shot at the Final Four, but I believe last year's team was the Final Four team. And the way this team is playing now, I think this could be a Final Four team. The one thing I would love to do is broadcast not just the Final Four, but a basketball championship. Bill Owens, the late Bill Owens, broadcast the NCAA championship game, Florida State versus UCLA back in '72. I'd like to replicate what Bill Owens did and broadcast the game and hopefully change this final score to where Florida State wins that. I'd love to broadcast a Florida State national championship run in basketball. I never went to, I never went to Omaha. I did Florida State baseball on Sunshine Network, Sun Sports it's called now, for I believe 24 years. I never went to Omaha, and the Noles were out there like 6-7 times, but we couldn't get the television rights to do it. And then the late Lee Bowen was broadcasting the games. And so, hey, not going to step on those toes, big fella. And he did the radio. So I never went to Omaha. One regret that I have. And the other one is obviously no Final Four, no national championship game in basketball.
Well, finally, I have to ask, what is it going to take for the Bucks to win and us get another classic Gene Deckerhoff call?
Well, yeah, fire them. I don't know if they're going to let us fire the cannons, but I love saying, fire them cannons. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Here's what it's going to take. We can't let Tyreek Hill catch passes for 203 yards in the first quarter. Whatever the Buccaneers did, Todd Bowles' defensive coordinator, did in the second, third, and fourth quarter, after surrendering 17 points in the first quarter, Tyreek Hill got 2 touchdowns and a field goal. They only scored 10 more points the rest of the ballgame. So we play that kind of defense, you got a chance to win. Secondly, the Bucks have to play the way we played to get to the Super Bowl. We played virtually penalty-free. Most penalties the Bucks had was in the Superdome, and a couple of those were retaliatory penalties. The New Orleans Saints, for some reason, feel like they have to chirp at their opponent almost after every play, and they got to shove you a little bit extra after almost every play. And so that's always a highly penalized game. But again, you got two rivals that play each other twice a year, so everybody knows everybody. So I don't know, but 2 penalties in the Green Bay game, the championship game, that was incredible. One was a pass interference call, and one was an offsides call. The offense was not penalized in that ball game. And I think we had one false start. No, we had a holding infraction on Tristan Wirfs in the New Orleans game that negated a 44-yard run by Ronald Jones II. And if that penalty doesn't occur, number one, the Bucks would have scored another touchdown. Secondly, Rojo would have had a 100-yard rushing game on his resume and an NFC divisional round game. So run the ball. Offensive line has been really, really steady. The most sacks against the Bucks were in that first game against the Washington Redskins. Only 1 sack by the Saints, only 1 sack by Green Bay. If you keep Tom Brady clean and free of contact, don't bet against him, because he's going to win a football game, and that's how the Bucks have played in the playoffs. The third thing is kicking. And Ryan Suckup, knock on wood, I'm not going to jinx a kicker, by golly, because that's easy to do, Lane, but he has not missed a kick in the postseason. Perfect 7 of 7 on field goals, and that was a huge 46-yard field goal in 28-degree weather at Green Bay. That made it, that made it an 8-point ball game. They got a field goal, made it a 5-point ball game. But if he misses that kick, okay, it's a 2-point ball game. Green Bay gets the ball back, and who knows what might have happened. But Ryan Suckup's been the real deal. Finally, after 16 years, the Buccaneers have found a stable kicker. We haven't changed a kicker this season, but we've been changing kickers on a regular basis for the last. I think. Well, we have Matt Bryant. We let Matt Bryant go to the Atlanta Falcons, and we've gone through like 16 kickers since then. And Ryan Suckup is the thank you, Ryan Suckup. No penalties, put pressure on the quarterback, figure out a way to contain Patrick Mahomes, run the football. Leonard Fournette's been outstanding in the postseason. He's averaging 101 yards from scrimmage in the postseason. Now, this is a guy the Jacksonville Jaguars let go. Bucks claimed him off the waiver wire in August. He wasn't a Buccaneer till late August, just before the first game in September the 3rd, but September the 13th. But those are the keys, and just let Tom Brady do his thing. Tom Brady is the best I have ever seen, period, bar none, and will always be, in my opinion, the best quarterback ever in the National Football League.
Sounds good, Gene. Well, hopefully we're all looking forward to what will hopefully be a great game, certainly a fascinating matchup, and hopefully for all those Bucks fans out there, we'll get one more chance for a classic Gene Deckerhoff call.
Oh, I can't wait.